So we have an issue in the LA Fire Department with sexism. Yes, it is coming out as well. So the LA Fire Department's sexism problem. So this is Apkarian, okay? Robin Apkarian, who is coming out to write this piece. So this is Chief Chris Larson, who speaks at a fire commission meeting in January of 2020. She and other women within the LA Fire Department have long called for a study of the organization and the issues that are present. And so when I reached Chris Larson on Thursday, she was in Spokane, Washington, attending an international conference for female firefighters. So Larson, she's 55 years of age, is the president of LA Women in the Fire Service and has worked as an LA firefighter for 31 years. So over time, she has risen to the rank of battalion chief and is currently the only black female officer in this department. So she is, as are many of her firefighter sisters, deeply unhappy about the dearth of women on the force and about the fact that women are hazed, harassed, or disrespected by some of their male colleagues. So you have a small group who feel that it's their mission to make everyone miserable, Larson said. So the fact is that when we pull that fire engine out of the door, we will get the emergency solved working together. But when we are back in the firehouse, though, we have trouble with the way that we treat one another. So this is an especially fraught moment in LA's fire department, a widely respected agency that has nevertheless been beset for decades by accusations of sexism, and also racism is in there. So a few years ago, Larson said that the white fire captain had put a toy monkey in the locker of a black female firefighter. This took place, and so the incident was not widely publicized at all. It was pretty much swept under the rug, but it came out in a recent meeting in the fire commission and in a panel of 5 civilians who oversaw the department. So Larson was invited to discuss her group's efforts to improve the work lives of female firefighters. But that was a straight up racially derogatory act towards an African American, Larson told me later when I asked about the monkey incident. And so the firefighter transferred, Larson said, and the captain is still on the job. All right. And so in June, 6 black fire inspectors filed a lawsuit contending that the department is run by a good old white boys club. And so that's unfairly doles out the promotions as well. And so in July, my colleague James Rainey and Dakota Smith wrote about the department's frat house culture is what they have, such as leaving feces on the floor in the women's restrooms, which is driven out women as well, are driven women out of the restroom. So also in July, leaders of the groups representing black and Latino firefighters called for a federal investigation as well into what they allege is widespread racial bias after my colleague Paul Pringle's report that a high-ranking white fire official who was allegedly drunk on the job preferential treatment. Okay, and so the Justice Department said that it was carefully reviewing that complaint as well. And of course, in August, Captain Christian Gornowski emotionally overwrought video rant against the COVID-19 vaccine mandate gave the department a huge black eye as well. When will this tyranny stop? So Granusi demanded. So seeing a veteran first responder selfishly put politics over his public health hit Angelenos like a slap in the face. And so now the infamous video unleashed an unprecedented backlash against the LAFD, which is the Los Angeles Fire Department. So I had to ask Larson this burning question. Are you fascinated? Of course, she said. with a chuckle. I'm not stupid. So Larson has been publicly critical of the department's complaint tracking system implemented by Chief Ralph Terrazza. Okay. It's a big improvement over the previous scattershot approach in which complaints were handled at the discretion of each of the 14 battalion chiefs overseeing the city 109 firehouses. And so still, while the new tracking system is a step in the right direction, Larson said that it's not perfect. Confidentiality is nearly impossible to guarantee, and many women are deathly afraid of retribution, particularly of their status as probationary. And so, if I put in a complaint, especially as a female, I am going to be labeled as a complainer. And she told the fire department or the fire commission in September. So I will be ostracized and criticized as well. And so in the city of Los Angeles, only 3.5% of the sworn force is female. So 115 of the 3,300, despite outgoing Mayor Eric Garcetti vowed to raise that figure to 5%. Unfortunately, the goal seems out of reach. So military has 10 to 15% women. Larson said, police long ago realized that having women on the force can be beneficial, but the fire department is woefully behind. So the LA Fire Department is not just woefully behind on recruiting and hiring females or women. It is also woefully behind on the organizational study of Larson that Larson's group asked for 4 years ago. So the idea was to get a clear picture of any flaws or biases that might impede the hiring, retention, and promotion of women. So we went to the city council and requested $200,000 for the assessment. So Larson said this. So it was us, the women. The mayor has made it seem like it was his idea, but it really, what Ms. Larson is saying, the women are the one that put forth the idea. So though the money was approved, it was somehow never allocated. So finally, however, the chief found the funds, and the study is to be released sometime next year. So I'm guessing that the study will tell us what we already know from anecdotes, lawsuits, depositions, the news reports as well. So the LA Fire Department has a serious problem with gender inequality. And so it will also, in one hopes, provide a roadmap to more equitable future for women in the Los Angeles Fire Department. I doubt anyone is holding her breath. And so there's a joke that's been going around the department forever, Larson told me. 100 years of tradition not impeded by progress. And so this story originally appeared in the LA Times. So yes, the LA Fire Department has gender inequality, and it has a racial problem going on. And that is not the only institution or job that has this going on. You have it going on in the schools, and you have it going on in LAUSD. You have it going on at UCLA. You have it going on at USC. You have it going on in most of these institutions. This has not been really publicized until most of these incidents start to get to a point where they blow up and get so out of control that now it has become something that is brought to the national attention, because it affects everyone. It affects all the workers. It affects the work performance that these people put forth. And so, having said this, a lot more is to be revealed, more to come.